Do you think the future of humanity is bright or negative?
Oh,
By
hmm.
future, you can be next year, 10 years, 1,000 years. I don't really care.
I actually have someone else
I'm
go first.
concerned.
I feel like I'm no, yeah, I'm concerned.
I'm a little concerned. I feel like we've kind of really gone into like isolation. Like, and not that we're not still like hanging out in groups, but like we'll be all together and sometimes we'll all be on our phone. And like that puts us in like a different space. But like you'll see in New York City, like I've seen pictures, you'll see 10,000 people and every one of them is looking at their phone. So they're kind of like there, but they're not really there. Uh,
Or you see like a sporting event when there's a famous picture of like LeBron like breaking the scoring record and everyone in the background
How's
was on
their
their
phone?
phones. Not one person was like in there in the moment.
And like I'm guilty of this. I like to take pictures. I like to take video
Yeah.
of things. Like I'll see the most beautiful sunset or like a beautiful mountain. First
Yes,
reactions.
First reactions I gotta
Grab my
capture.
phone. I gotta capture this for later. But we're not really living.
Do
Like,
you ever feel like anxiety
the
that you're not
moment.
sharing it with somebody else too? Like
Yeah, oh,
something's
100%.
something's
Someone's
so
almost gotta
sick,
see this.
and all you want to do is show it to
Yeah.
everybody, and you're just
The
like,
first thing I do is when I take a cool picture. This happened yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
I took a picture on my phone. The first thing I did was just send it to my family. Like, you or like your friends. Like, you just want everyone to see it. Or like if you meet, like if you get like a
If you meet somebody.
yeah, if you meet someone famous, it's like screw talking to them. Like you want to get like a picture with them so you could send it to all your friends, post it in your story.
Or-
Kind of all about just like
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
capturing where we've been rather than like embracing where we're at.
there's a Black Mirror
I-
episode on that.
I think there's
that's
a,
a difficult.
And that's a little scary to me.
I think there's a,
Even like a nice view, we just have to like, take a picture and share it. Like I don't feel when I see a nice view, I feel anxious. I was like, fuck, I didn't.
yeah,
How
no,
am
I
I
know
gonna
what you
capture
mean.
this and show it to everyone?
I think there's this fear that we want to make good moments last forever.
Mhm.
So immediately when there's a good moment, we want to somehow preserve it.
Yeah,
And we try to, instead of being there and enjoying the moment, we try to save it in a rectangle device for some future reference. And we just kind of ruin the moment itself because you can't,
You're not really preserving it in your like your mind. You're kind of just you have it on like a phone, but like
it's not in the
were you
game.
really
won't
like
get the
there?
game
Were you
emotion.
really there
Yeah.
like in the moment, or were you kind of just like focusing on capturing?
that's actually interesting because I looked through my camera roll. I don't really take that many pictures, and I kind of wish I did.
No, I,
Like I just don't remember a lot of the things. So sometimes scroll my camera roll. I have like very few pictures of anything. And I do kind of wish that I did take more pictures just so I could like remember a lot of the things because you gotta realize like a lot of your memories you can't retrieve unless like something cues you towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you had a picture, there's also the benefit of being able to like jog your memory of this is what I did. So I feel like with anything, there's always gonna be pros and cons. I think phones, like most kids nowadays, have like their whole life, who are like my cousin, for example, his whole life has been captured on my aunt's phone,
Yeah.
and like, I mean,
that's nice.
I
It's
just
true.
he's gonna like, they're gonna be able to like look back at this time and it's like remember so much stuff. So
I agree. I
I
think
I
there's
think that's cool, but there's downsides.
I agree with the pros and cons. Like when I look back to memories or just pictures, videos I took of like 2017, like when I was in middle school, like I really appreciate the fact that I like took those.
Yeah,
I think that our phone, like pictures and videos, we can't time travel, but as far as going to the past
yeah.
and like experiencing things in the past, like it's as
Good.
close as we can get to
Yeah,
traveling through.
yeah, I agree. So,
because you remember, like
Yeah.
you just remember, like you know how you just access a memory randomly because something cues you towards it.
No, I feel it.
That,
You
that's
feel
like a
those
good
memories and
experience.
you have like
You know
a
what?
visual to go
I
with it.
think that
Feels real.
I think maybe a few weeks ago I felt this because I took a lot of photos like freshman, sophomore year. I think in junior when I stopped using my phone as much, there's just not as many photos there. And I scroll back, like, oh, there's all these great memories in freshman year, sophomore year, and then junior year just kind of empty.
yeah.
And, like I could see the difference, and I can think back to it. I've had good memories. It's just I can't see them on a phone. And then it's like, okay, well, there's the pros and cons. How do we find that balance? Because I remember we'd go on trips, with my family, and then every time we go anywhere, there's this picture, picture, picture,
Yeah.
picture. And that would get annoying to me because I'm like, I'm sitting by the lake, like by some at nighttime, and they like I was a little bit ahead of them when they were walking. They came to me like, oh, let's go take a photo. Let's take a photo. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here, but I don't know where to find the balance.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
Like I
interesting.
think maybe when you see a sunset, sure, you don't have to take a photo of that. Maybe that you try to be conscious of the fact that I'm trying to enjoy this moment, but at the same time, maybe limiting it, like maybe taking a few is okay for that memory piece. But I think looking back at memories is a great part of life.
Yeah. Again, like when you're, for example, like sitting at a sunset, I feel like it's not so much like taking the picture because again, that takes like 5 seconds. It's more just like that's the first thing you think of. Like when you meet someone cool or like when you're at a cool like spot, it's like that's the first thing you think of. It's not so much like taking the picture because I think like this is like Sid said, it's cool to have memories for later, but it's just like kind of scary that like our first like even in like not even just like for memories, like your first thing that you do at like a lunch table is like check Instagram, like looking at your phone. Like you sit in a classroom, you're the first one there, look at your phone, you know.
Lack of presence.
Yeah, lack of presence.
I hate when I'm like,
We're all guilty of it except for Shaurya.
I'm not guilty of it.
Are you still on the 20 minutes a day?
It's more like 30 or 40.
What do you think is like?
Slacker, major slacker.
What do you think is like the biggest thing about not going on your phone? Like, what do you notice the
Yeah,
most?
what's the
Biggest
biggest change?
improvement?
Yeah. When I start on my phone, I'm just looking when I'm getting picked up.
Yeah, for sure. I would say I feel more present, I think.
Yeah.
I say I think because it's happened a while. I did do it a while back, and I remember at first these are definitely. I think it's kind of become like normal now ish, but it feels good to not feel the need to do that whenever you're bored,
Mhm.
right? Like I went to the diner alone this morning because it was like 7 in the morning, and I wanted to eat like 3 meals in today, so I could sit there and scroll on my phone, but I decided to just sit there, and I felt better, not feeling the need to just scroll. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're waiting in line for 5 minutes. Or I mean, I hate when I'm like driving at a gas station. I look at the car over. There's like her mom on her phone, and then she's sitting there next to her on her phone. As like her daughter sitting on her phone as well. You walk into a restaurant, and like there's just 4 people sitting on their phone. Like,
Yeah, it's a bad
um,
look.
I think it definitely pulls you out of that bubble. You can see everyone around you kind of in that bubble ish, and then you can see like the past life you lived.
Do you read?
Yeah.
What books do you read?
Um, quite a diverse. I mean, a lot of nonfiction stuff, but
How many pages or like how many hours of like just like non-school work reading?
Yeah, outside of school.
a day. I don't read as much as I used to, but um, it's been on and off because there've been times where I read a lot. This time, like over the summer, I might read like 30 minutes to an hour a day. Now it's
Mhm.
maybe like I'll read it like 2 or 3 times a week on a weekday if I have time. But I try not to like measure the hours or anything. I try to just do it if I want to, and if I want to enjoy the process of it. But yeah. I think reading is good. Sure, you're learning stuff, but it's good for attention span
100%.
because it forces you to like sometimes I'm reading and I'm counting the page numbers and I'm like my mind is doing that same like calculating thing again I used to do on my phone like oh yeah page 1 page 2 but I think just try to force yourself to like just read the damn book.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
I have
don't
with
look at
reading
the
is
numbers.
really unhealthy. Is like especially if it's for school and I don't like the book, is like I'll like set like little goals for myself. Like all right, once I get to 10 pages, like I'll give myself a little break.
So
Yeah, it's just like it's so bad.
Yeah, but
I
that
hate that. I
reading
hate
for
that
school takes
mindset.
the fun out of it though.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I feel like it sounds like an underutilized thing. Like there's gonna be the shock when you start to read of like it's not as like attention grabbing as looking at your phone. But then after a couple of days that goes away and you actually really enjoy it.
it's a fun process.
But
Especially if it's
One of
like
my favorite.
if you don't want to read about it, then it's
especially if it's like your choice to go buy the book,
yeah.
go read it.
One of the
Like,
biggest changes I made is that if I don't enjoy a book I'm reading I put it down because I force myself to finish books I hate and just like a wasted time reading books because I feel like so bad quitting a book in between it.
yeah,
But that's an important thing, right? Because books are gonna go, they're gonna like go in between being boring and fun, and like you're gonna have to go through some of the boring
Right.
parts to get back to the fun parts. Because like my uncle was saying this, he was like, try not to like stop a book if it gets boring, because I mean it's kind of the same thing of like being on your phone looking for like more stimulation. Like you got to take. It's never gonna be just fun. There's gonna be boring parts of reading, but that's just like kind of comes with it.
There's been some books I've really enjoyed though. I think one of my favorite ones I read in fall term was Mastery by Robert Greene, which is like this amazing book that breaks down 50 or 60 masters of history who've like mastered their craft. Like for example, Leonardo da Vinci or Albert Einstein, and analyze their life stories and like, takes out principles that they all followed.
Mhm.
And it was really amazing book because it really showed you that I think one of the things I really liked about it is like the uniqueness of each individual. Like they only succeeded at what they did because they absolutely love what they did,
Mhm.
and they weren't really chasing external outcomes that just happened to happen because they were so immersed in it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely find books that you just enjoy reading. Murph and Jack, you guys read.
Yeah, I read. I used to read more. Wish I did read more now. But one of my favorite feelings in the world is when you like stop.
Motherfucker,
reading.
you do not read. Man.
I do read. I do read. I do read. I do read. I don't read a lot
fucking
here.
Instagram reels, bro.
No, I do.
So
yeah,
chill out.
Instagram way too much, but I do read. But one of my favorite feelings in the world is when you're reading a book and you put it down and you like start thinking about the book again.
yeah.
Well, also, I feel like
that's
you
one of the
find a lot
best
of enjoyment
feelings.
in like art. That's sick.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah,
Like
agree.
that, I think
find a lot of
that's
enjoyment
good.
in
Being
that-
appreciative of art is like
Okay.
Because he loves art, right? And like I mean, that's also like really good. That
Like
Yeah.
making art or like just looking at it?
more making art. I don't really like looking at art.
like, I
I
can't
think a lot
access
of
that.
art's really dumb. I really
Watering
do.
through swig.
Yeah, too much going on in there.
Like we make fun of
Abstract
it, but it definitely is like a cool thing that I just
yeah,
can't
Skro
do.
loves making art.
But I do like reading, contrary to what they say. I don't read a lot here. I don't read a lot. That's a fact.
Yeah, I've never seen you read it.
When I was younger, I was a huge reader. Like in like 8th grade, I was like a 30, 40 books a year kind of person.
Okay.
Jesus.
But
But
you're tied to post all the books you read.
no, I used to have like lists, but they weren't like long books or anything. I have
You guys,
a nice book.
you guys big movie guys?
Not really.
You
I
know,
like
I think
movies.
lately, no, man.
I think
Movies are
movies,
great, though.
I think movies are good for you too.
I like movies better than like a series because it's something that you kind of commit to for like.
What do you think about how movies change your perception of time? You think that's
It's
real?
one of my favorite feelings ever. I love when
Wait,
especially in like a
go
theater.
more into that. What do you mean?
Like how they condense a year or 2 years into 2 hours.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you think that fucks with your perception of time, or do you think
For
that's just, like,
sure.
No, I don't think it messes up my perception.
It messes up my perception.
Does it?
Like when I go into a movie theater and I watch a movie that, let's say it's a movie that takes place over the course of a week, it feels like it takes forever. And then you leave, like the movie feels like it takes
Oh,
a
but
really long time.
but you never like lose interest. Like you're still
No,
glued to.
you're still glued to it. And then you leave the theater and you feel like a lot of time has passed. And then
Yeah.
it's still light out and you go get lunch.
Yeah, I think movies are
And
under.
it's really cool. It's like a little time warp that you drop into. And you feel completely committed to it from start to finish and then kind of ends. It's like a portal.
Yeah.
When you guys watch movies, are you watching it more to like get something out of it, or just this looks sick? I want to watch it.
Depends on the movie. Like,
Like if you're just
documentary-
watching a movie by yourself, like Netflix on your phone, like at night, like
yeah, just something that looks interesting. Depends on like what mood I'm in. Do I want to laugh? Like I'll watch a comedy.
yeah.
Comedies don't do the same thing, like time warp thing for me. They're more like, little bursts of action
Okay.
and laughter, but like a drama or something that's like a little more intense, like that really draws you in. That's where I get that.
It's kind of crazy that like you could just watch a comedy. Like laughter is the peak happiness I think you'll ever feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
laughter's
Isn't it
the most
crazy? You can
important
just like put something on and just like be like really happy for so
Yeah,
long.
that's
Or like when we're in the
That's
room, like
crazy.
just dying about some stupid,
Some
ass
stupid
shit.
ass-
I like
shit,
I like
man.
movies like the social. Like if I'm with my friends and stuff, I'd love to watch a movie. I just never like really do it on my own.
I completely
Really?
disagree.
I don't either, but
I
I've
gotta
I've
go,
been
guys.
trying to get more into it. All right,
All right, so
That's you, bro.
all right, bro.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming
for
down.
having me on Shaurya.
All right, bro. Good luck with everything.
Like
On your way home.
I'll be back in 7 hours.
I like watching movies with other people, but I like watching the movie. Like I'm not there to talk with the people about.
Yeah,
the movie.
that's
honestly,
fine.
I find more enjoyment watching movies by myself.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know why that is.
Like I love watching movies with people, but if I go and watch a movie with somebody, like maybe I'll be talking to them, or I completely ignore them and
Yeah.
watch the movie. So it kind of defeats the purpose
Yeah.
of like watching it with them.
Yeah. Fair
But it's
enough.
always nice to like drive back and forth with somebody from like a movie theater, like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to watch the movie.
the pre and post movie, because then you can discuss it and like
Yeah.
share that experience.
Yeah, fair
For
enough.
sure.
When I'm out on my own, like on a flight or driving cars, probably like a podcast. Which I feel like a lot of them make me laugh too.
I'm big on podcasts.
Yeah,
too.
I laugh to some podcasts. I mean,
I feel
definitely
like they
the
also
different
just make you smarter. Just listen.
Yeah, for
You just
sure.
learn like
They're
new ideas.
they're also they can be entertaining. Like I find them a lot. I think there's many different types of podcasts. Like sometimes I'll throw something on just for like enjoyment purposes. Like,
Yeah,
it's, like,
yeah.
some bullshit. Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan's great.
but I think Rogan is a good like, I don't know. He has a good balance between like, because he has a lot of comedians on, but he also has like a lot of just
Smart
smart
people.
ass people on. Like, what's his name? What's that space dude's name?
Yeah, Elon Musk.
No,
No,
not Elon Musk.
What's his name?
Space dude.
No,
Yeah.
he's
No, he's like he's like an
Neil
astrophysicist.
deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like he'll have people like
Oh, I
that
know.
on. He'll have like Jordan Peterson on.
I've
You guys
watched
know
that.
that. It's like
Dude,
So he
I
has a
watched
good
Jordan
balance.
Peterson one, bro. That shit was so boring.
really.
I couldn't understand the thing that Jordan Peterson was saying, bro. Like I like Jordan Peterson, but on the Joe Rogan, he just like
Yeah.
he's a little bit of a yapper,
Yeah.
and Joe Rogan lets him yap. So
Yeah.
He'll talk for like an hour straight.
Yeah. I love the Rogan podcast.
Yeah, it's,
I think that that value comes from how long form it is. When you watch like clips of Rogan, it's the same thing as all the other stuff you see on social
fair
media.
If you enjoyed that clip with Mary Boners, then you're gonna love the full, unedited, full podcast that will be released this Sunday at noon. So make sure you click here so you're the first one to see it, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.